So the BJP has branded Rahul Gandhi a traitor. The Congress has hit back, saying all an attempt only to save Adani, with Prime Minister and Adani are one. Who's winning this battle of perception? That's what we're going to debate. And also, in this massive face-off which is brewing in Parliament, collateral, of course, are Parliament proceedings. Let's cut across right now to our panelists this evening. Joining me, Pradeep Bhandari, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party; Ashutosh, author, political analyst; Rajya Sabha, political commentator; Adil Singh Boparai, National Spokesperson, Congress. Pradeep Bhandari, before we get on to the whole Adani versus Soros, the curious case of 50,000 rupees found in Parliament, a little bit in a hurry to possibly name the Rajya Sabha MP next to whose seat it was found. Maybe an investigation would have warranted better.
Well, Preeti, first of all, it's the Jagdeep Dhankhar, the chair, who's informed the House and the nation about it. And it's the prerogative of the chair who's already ordered an inquiry. Now, why do we question the Congress party? Because I want to remind you of a very important news article on the 1st of November 2024, where one of the members of Parliament, who was independent member of Parliament, who was offered 25 crore to vote for the UPA in 2008, and his name is MP Sebastian Paul, and he revealed it to the nation just a month back. So when the characteristic of the Congress party is about bribe of money trail, then I do believe that an inquiry should be ordered, and we are only saying an inquiry should be ordered. Now just let me take the argument of Mr. Kharge forward. Mr. Kharge said in the House, and I quote Mr. Kharge, कि बिना जांच किए जब inquiry चल रही है तो नाम लेने की क्या जरूरत है? If I extend Mr. Kharge's argument, then with that argument, even on the Adani case, there is an inquiry which is going on, then there should not be any discussion on it. We are open to discussion on anything, but they are self-contradicting themselves. So for a party which has a history of crony capitalism,
Bhandari,
I do believe that
on a lighter note, sir, as I bring in Adil Singh Boparai, how much, raise that again?
25
crores. You know how much was found in Parliament?
It's not
it has to be appalling if
no,
the
Preeti,
Congress is looking at buying MPs for 50,000 rupees.
Preeti, it's about that bundle of note leading to bori of cash.
But the bori wasn't found.
But when you investigate the bundle, you will find the bori.
Fine.
It's about the trail. Right. You cannot trust the Congress.
So you're saying, like
Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Vadra have a history. All of them, the parties out on bail. It's not about the 50,000. First of all, it is a suspicion.
That 50,000 was Bhyana.
मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि ये 50,000 की जांच होनी चाहिए कि ऐसा तो नहीं बड़े करोड़ों पैसे के तरफ ये लेके जाए जो कांग्रेस पार्टी ने बोरियों में छुपाया है.
All right, but you are saying, okay, you'll order an investigation. The Congress is turning around. Leave alone, the US has indicted Mr. Adani, leave alone an investigation in that. You don't even want a discussion. I'll come back to you. Allow me. You will. Allow me to bring in Adil Singh Boparai into this conversation. Adil Singh Boparai, why so touchy? Why is the skin so thin? If the cash, which is 50,000 rupees, has been found next to the chair of Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, there are CCTV cameras. It's the Parliament. For God's sake, it's very easy to find out how it's come in. And if it's not easy to find out, then there's a serious sense of concern on the security of the Parliament. Let this investigation take place. It shouldn't take a matter of hours.
Well, Preeti, firstly, the allegations of the BJP are utterly ludicrous. There's no other word but to describe them as being ludicrous and laughable. Secondly, as far as the investigation and the inquiry is concerned, please carry out an investigation. Who's stopping you from carrying out an investigation? The question here is larger. This is a manufactured distraction. And just to point out to my friend Pradeep, he's comparing apples with oranges. In Mr. Adani's case, post an investigation, the matter was placed before the US District Eastern Court in New York, which has issued an indictment. In other words, it is a judicial indictment. You can't compare a judicial indictment from a court of law with an allegation which is even prior to an investigation. So let's compare stages to where they belong. Number two. Number three, now this is the larger issue. You pick up any despot's playbook in history.
Okay.
The moment there is a domestic crisis, they raise the bogey of a foreign hand.
Okay.
Exactly what the BJP is doing.
Today, but Adil Singh Boparai, it's a little rich coming in from the Congress. The 70s, I think you and I both remember. The origins of the foreign hand came in from the Congress, but that's fine. You'd say that's all gone, and done with. We'll come back to that. Allow me to bring in our two other guests into this panel as well, Ashutosh and Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha, much ado about very little money. If it took 50,000 to buy out MPs in Parliament, it would be a pity.
I think it's about parliamentary probity, and we have debated it for the past, I think, 10 minutes, and I think that's the time it deserves.
Yes.
And it is back into the investigative agencies under the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, who's going to look into this matter. And I think till more evidences or more facts of the matter are not unearthed, it's just as pointless to debate also on this
Fair
topic.
point. That's why. Because the BJP has been raising it all through the course of the day. And Ashutosh, I also want to bring you in one very quick comment, and then we'll quickly go on to something more, which at least the Bharatiya Janata Party feels is sinister for this country, and which is the hand of George Soros, where it comes down to backing Rahul Gandhi. But Ashutosh, we might all laugh on it, but it is hilarious, because that is what governed most of airtime today through the course of the day, was that curious case of 50,000 rupees that was found. Now, I just want to tell our viewers, when it comes down to Parliament protocol, it's not violating Parliament protocol that this bunch of cash was found. But you find it absurd, Ashutosh?
No, not absurd. What worries me is that how easily and how slowly the Parliament is turning into irrelevance.
Fair point.
There are much serious issues in the country which needs to be debated. And I'll just cite 3 examples. One is that this country needs to deserve that the second most prosperous, richest man in India, there is a arrest warrant against him by an American court. Okay. And there is another notice by another court against the national security advisor of the country by the American court. Does it not deserve a case to be discussed in the Parliament? Forget about investigation. Just discuss.
Fair point.
Second point is,
make your point.
You take the example of Sambhal. The four citizens of the country are killed and dozens of policemen are injured. Doesn't it deserve to be discussed in the Parliament? Thirdly, India's economy had tanked to 5.4% when everybody was anticipating something by 6.8, 6.7. These are the 3 issues.
Fair point. So, let's move on to that. And I'll bring in Pradeep Bhandari again. I just want to tell our viewers that nobody's taken ownership of that 50,000 rupee cash. Maybe a tad bit embarrassed, but there's going to be a CCTV image of that coming out soon. But Pradeep Bhandari, now to come down to something more, serious in terms of conversation. Grave charges that your party levels, A, to call the leader of opposition as a traitor, as an insult to the country, are very, very strong words, Pradeep Bhandari, to use. And to take from what, Mr. Bopuroy said, at a time where you might be facing a fair amount of criticism, to attribute everything that the opposition does to a foreign hand should remind you of what Miss Indira Gandhi did in her time.
Well, first of all, the spokesperson from Congress, Adil, spoke about, domestic crisis. There is only one place where there is domestic crisis. That is where in the Congress party, we've seen it from Maharashtra to Haryana, and Adil should introspect. On the DOJ part, I'm not the spokesperson of the group, but the India Today carried out an article which said that the name of the industrialist is not there in the indictment. So there are 2 versions of it, and Adil believes the US court more than the Indian court. Now, why do I not trust whatever the Congress party says? Because if you remember and recall, in 2023 January, the same allegations were raised on the Hindenburg report, and an investigation was ordered by SEBI for a year, and the Supreme Court even dismissed the review petition and found that the entire allegations of the Congress party were baseless. Now, please look at the pattern. As I said, in 2021, the OCCRP, which is funded by George Soros, speaks against Covaxin. The Congress party does a presser against Covaxin. In 2023, August 31st, 2023, Congress party brings up the Adani issue. It's the OCCRP brings up the Adani issue. In July 2021, it is the OCCRP in August speaking about Pegasus. Congress party speaks about Pegasus in the same month, again, which was dismissed by the Supreme Court in 2022. So my charge here is that the Congress party here, Rahul Gandhi, is acting as a front of George Soros. It's a very famous saying, once it can be happenstance, second can be a coincidence, but third is enemy action. And there is a very beautiful report of the Global Watch in which Mr. Soros has been believed to be working with the Chinese since the 1980s. And it is a matter of investigation for us why the vice president of George Soros Foundation goes to a Bharat Jodo Yatra and why there is a similarity of the pattern of of both Mr. Soros and Rahul Gandhi. And we see the public statement of Mr. Soros saying that he wants to remove Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Let Adil respond to that. But Mr. Bhandari, you quote the OCCRP and very rightly quoted, but you do also remember that the OCCRP also filed multiple reports on Rafale, which was quoted by the likes of a lot likes of you within your own party.
Which was at the end
so,
of the day,
you can take one part of that report, which is this, and use that as proof, but you quote the same agency with a report on Rafale.
I'll tell you a 20-second rebuttal. The issue is that in all of these cases...
So they were right in Rafale?
The pattern has been that Supreme Court of India has dismissed whatever the Congress party has said. In our case, in Rafale point, whatever the Congress party raised on Rafale, it was dismissed by the Supreme Court.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about...
No,
because you quoted OCCRP.
Along with Supreme Court of India, ultimately
I'm just talking about OCCRP because when it did... Hear me out. Because when the OCCRP did various pieces on Rafale, it was quoted by many people from the Bharatiya Janata Party as evidence against the Congress, when Rahul Gandhi had taken on the whole Rafale refrain. Having said that, today, you're blaming OCCRP. It can't be, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
I'll tell you the difference here. The difference here has been that OCCRP and the Congress party stand, whether it is on Covaxin, whether it is on Pegasus and Adani.
They deferred.
The Supreme Court of India has completely rejected
I agree
the
with that.
Party. So I'm going by the code of the law.
All right. But they deferred in Rafale, which you agreed with.
And my issue is that George Soros does not speak the party line. The George Soros speaks Rahul Gandhi's line. Why is that both of them similar?
All right. Adil Singh Boparai, would you want to come and respond? Because these are grave charges, but the Bharatiya Janata Party feels that stems from a more sinister plan that Rahul Gandhi has in works with George Soros.
Well, I think my friend's party has just completely lost its sanity, and in their desperation and their hatred for the Congress party, they're coming up with utterly reprehensible sort of arguments. The Congress party's leadership belongs to a family which has laid down their lives for the unity and integrity of this country. Whether it was Srimati Indira Gandhi ji, whether it was Shri Rajiv Gandhi ji. To accuse the Congress party's leadership of such a charge is, I think, doing a disservice to this country, point number one. Point number two, on the larger Adani issue, let me just remind my friend what the US court documents indicate. It's the US investigating agency searched Mr. Sagar Adani. From Mr. Sagar Adani, they recovered certain electronic gadgets like his laptops and telephones. From that, they found out how there was a pattern of bribe money being paid to government functionaries in India. So the crime that happened, I did not interrupt you, Pradeep. Yeah. Don't jump the gun. So therefore, the crime happened in India. Now, why is the BJP doubling up and demeaning itself by acting as a spokesperson for the Adani? Adani is a private individual. If you have nothing to hide, if you are not colluding with him, then have a JPC. You still have the numbers. Let the truth emerge. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. If you are not involved in this, why are you fearing an investigation? And let me say this finally to you, Preeti. I think it is the BJP which is damaging India's credibility and India's markets globally, because they're taking away the transparent character of our country. Why are they shielding Mr. Adani? And just today, the Indian Express has carried a story that the central government has waived interstate transmission charges for Adani electricity companies, which is going to give them a bumper bonanza of 1,300 crore rupees. If this story is false, let Mr. Adani and the government of India sue Indian Express. If not,
let me bring in Rajat Sethi. Rajat Sethi, as a political analyst, would you not deem fit that at least the Adani issue be discussed? Because ever since the indictment by the United States of America, leave alone that the parliament hasn't even had a discussion, but countries like France, Sri Lanka, Kenya, Bangladesh, Switzerland, Australia have all cancelled deals with Adani.
Yeah, so that's a private deal which has, which has been called into question. The state and the sovereign states out there are free to take a decision on that. Does the Congress party have any material evidence through their international networks to place before either the Indian Parliament or the Supreme Court to actually lead to some kind of a logical conclusion to this discussion which has been going on for the past year and a half at least? My problem is that Rahul Gandhi and the entire Congress party is not walking the talk. If you are quoting the indictment, then you need to quote it in its entirety. Then you need to first sever your ties with the Tamil Nadu-based DMK party. You need to walk out of that alliance first, walk the talk, show by example that till the name is not cleared of either the DMK party there or his party's own leader in Chhattisgarh, Bhupesh Baghel, kick him out of the party. Set up an example here that we are not sure. There is an indictment and they have quoted certain state governments. And based on that, because we are constantly referring to that same documentation, we are hereby walking the talk and we are severing our ties with the DMK and we are kicking out Bhupesh Baghel from the party. Then you will establish a case for yourself that what we genuinely believe that it is in the larger interest
having a discussion,
of the country,
is it dependent
on
that?
Debate.
Having a discussion in Parliament, is it actually dependent on the Congress taking action? Shouldn't that unilaterally be done?
It is a waste of taxpayers' money. Either you establish it through some proofs, either some prima facie evidence or something which can corroborate your accusations, by all means do that. Do not
the
defend
accusations
the
haven't come.
At all.
No, one second. The accusations haven't come from India. The accusations have come from a US indictment. And if you talk about wasting the money of the taxpayer every minute that goes in an adjournment when Parliament is in session costs the taxpayer 2.5 lakh rupees, Rajat.
My point is very simple. On a report, whom you do not want to believe on because you will have to walk the talk on that, you clearly are in a position to either present those facts before the Parliament, which are something distinct or something new, or go to the Supreme Court. These are the only possible ways of respecting the
at one end,
yes, for an investigation.
At one end, it shouldn't be incumbent that the Congress takes action against its own and then press for a discussion. A discussion should happen. And, there might be people who want to hear on what exactly is, going on, either sides of the debate. But that aside, Ashutosh, Rajat has a point. Because even if you look at the indictment of bribery, it's 90% opposition-ruled states, other than the case of Jammu and Kashmir.
Preeti, three things. First of all, I do not understand what is the compulsion to defend Adani. It goes beyond my logic. If there has been somebody who has been organically linked with the BJP, I could have understood why the BJP is defending, why the RSS is defending, why the government is defending. I know for fact that Gautam Adani is a private citizen. He has nothing to do with the BJP. So why BJP is going and their supporters are going out of their way to defend Adani? And mind it, the court, the Justice Department of America and SEC, they had a case. And the grand jury has passed. After that, the indictment has moved forward. So let's not live in a fool's paradise. And there is an arrest warrant.
Okay.
Can anybody deny there is no arrest warrant? So I just want one thing to happen in this country, that let the parliament let the parliament sit, unanimously decide and condemn American court.
Okay. All right.
That's simple.
What's the,
not happen in this.
But Mr. Bhandari, the one question which comes into all of this is...
Preeti, second point. Let me complete.
Okay, make your point. Allow him to make his point and then you make yours.
If the Rahul Gandhi, I know for sure that 90% of the BJP MPs does not know to which country George Soros belongs, and they can't write his name fully, the George Soros. As simple. If Rahul Gandhi is involved,
that is infantilizing.
Anti-India.
That is infantilizing the whole country.
Yes, I'm being.
That is not.
Ashutosh, I think the fact is because it's from the both sides of the divide. Let's fall short of patronizing people. There's no point getting into that. Whether what country he belongs to, whether they can spell his name or not.
Preeti, let me complete. I didn't disturb anybody. And if Rahul Gandhi is involved by a foreign agency to destabilize the country, this is a matter of national security, Rahul Gandhi should be arrested immediately.
Okay,
fair point. FIR by the BJP?
Fair point. But, the point is, Pradeep Bhandari, the question now is that you're trying to create a perception. You're trying to create an atmosphere. You're refusing to have the debate. Have the debate, conduct an investigation, even if it is in the role of Rahul Gandhi in all of this. What's coming off is that the BJP is trying to defend an independent business tycoon.
Well, on your panel, it is now proven that the Congress party is acting as the front of the deep state and George Soros, because clearly this is the same party which questions the Indian Supreme Court, but for once they haven't questioned the quote-unquote indictment of that industrialist as per some news reports, and as per the industrialist version, he is not indicted. But it's clear that Ashutosh and even the Congress party is acting as the front.
The second count, Gautam Adani has been named.
No, so that is, again I said, they are focusing more on the indictment of the US court, but they will not believe the Indian Supreme Court. If they have facts against Gautam Adani, they should go to the Supreme Court of India. Has Mr. Ashok Gehlot been suspended from the Congress party? He's done so many deals with the Gautam Adani. Has in 2011 the Tamil Nadu government
allow him to talk. Sir, allow him to talk. I'll come to you.
Ashutosh,
I'll come
I can speak over you.
No.
Yes,
Nobody speak over anyone. There is no point. We'll all go one by one. Go ahead,
please.
Mr. Bhandari, make your point. Ashutosh, wait your turn. Hold your peace. We'll come to you.
Again, I ask your viewers that has Ashok Gehlot been suspended from the Congress party because he clearly called, did a state-to-state deal with Gautam Adani, and the state of Rajasthan, when he was the chief minister, signed contracts with him. Has the Tamil Nadu government, when the Bharatiya Janata Party was not in power, that is pre-2014, had done deals with Mr. Adani? Mr. Robert Vadra went with Mr. Adani in 2009 to Gujarat. Please ask what is Mr. Vadra's dealing. So yes, please probe Mr. Vadra. It's not about that. The larger question is, he is the man who is the vice president of George Soros. George Soros openly wants to destabilize India. He openly speaks against Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He wants to create an economic chaos. Why is Rahul Gandhi walking hands in glove with Mr. Soros? Please investigate that. We are investigating it, but he should answer that question. And point number 2, on the Rafale part, I just checked during the course of the debate, Preeti, none of Mr. Jaitley at that time in Parliament had spoken about Rafale, and he did not refer to the OCCRP report.
A lot of other BJP
that is
leaders,
fine.
Mr. Jaitley in Parliament might not have.
Jaitley in Parliament gave our official position, so we did not refer to OCCRP in official position.
You and I both know better. You can quote one leader.
Allow me. Again, Adil is very half on facts. This is the SEBI which has begun an inquiry. So the Indian investigative agencies are beginning an inquiry.
But Mr. Bhandari, hold that up again.
Yes.
The SEBI.
Yes.
Now you do know the charges against the SEBI right now.
That's the
okay, fine.
No, clearly you got the intent. If the SEBI does an inquiry which is not in the favor of the Congress party, they question SEBI. If the Supreme Court judgment does not take favor in the Congress party, Supreme Court questions the Congress party. Congress party questions the Supreme Court. But they will not question anything in the US.
That's the larger plot.
They
You're trying to allow me. You're trying to destabilize every institution where the Indian economy is concerned. And allegations on SEBI are a part of it. But the allegations, that's a separate debate, Pradeep Bhandari. Go ahead.
Preeti, I find the argument of my friend to be very juvenile. By putting up these pictures, he doesn't prove anything. And he forgets that today they are in power.
How is Ashok Gehlot's meeting with... No, I can't take a personal comment, please. How is Mr. Ashok Gehlot dealing with Gautam Adani, juvenile, Adil?
Okay.
Who was in power in Rajasthan? Who was in power?
Mr. Gehlot was in power in Rajasthan. He dealt with Mr.
Gautam
Adani. Do not call an argument
Let's
any personal comments.
Okay, let's all refrain from personal commentary. Yeah. Come on. Okay, Adil Singh Bopra, make your point.
Preeti, who's in power at the center and who's in power at the state? If there is any allegation of omission or commission, they must investigate. Who is stopping them from investigating? I find this to be hilarious and juvenile when the BJP spokesperson is asking us to investigate. Sorry, sir, we do not have the investigating
apparatus. If you have facts, please take the facts to the Supreme Court.
No, 1 second. One second. Make your point, Adil.
Secondly, in our constitutional scheme of things, you have the executive for a purpose. You have investigating agencies for a purpose. The investigating agencies are not there merely to aid Mr. Adani. The investigating agency's charter is to investigate acts of bribery and corruption.
Okay.
And I can give you umpteen instances where on a charge sheet in a foreign court, in a country which is governed by the rule of law, the corresponding agencies in India, which is the CBI and the ED, has initiated their own investigation. Number 3, Preeti, today I have no qualms in saying that there is an institutional collapse and an institutional capture by the BJP. What are we seeking? We are seeking a JPC. A JPC is in the nature of a fact-finding inquiry. Let sunlight be the best disinfectant.
Okay, fine. Rajat Sethi is shaking his head, but Rajat Sethi, right now the perception that you might call it a perception or a narrative is being peddled, but there seems to be, a sense that the BJP is trying to protect a business tycoon.
So what do I do with that? If somebody holds that opinion, good for them. I don't give a damn about that. My problem is central, is core. There are certain international projects where India's core interests were aligned. There were forces larger than what meets the eye who are responsible to actually derail those projects, those critical projects, and give China an advantage. Look at what is happening in Colombo port. Look at what is happening in Kenya. You know what is happening with Belt and Road. All of that. So there is something larger which is happening. We also understand that there has been, the mother of all hypocrisy, what the Financial Times called, is what happened with Biden himself going in and pardoning his own son. That is the state of affairs of the justice system of the United States. And you want to trust that justice system and throw out every single institution of India out of the window. Where does your locus lie? Does Rahul Gandhi's locus lie within the country, or his center of gravity lies outside the country? This is the core thing that you need to come up with. And I'm by all means,
but Rajat,
all means, if you have a shred of evidence, put it before the parliament. Let that be that anecdotal
evidence. So Rajat, you're suggesting that one disregards any indictment by the US because all institutions because all institutions in the United States of America are bogus. Is that the suggestion?
100%. I mean, I'm free to, I'm free to draw my own conclusions.
No, of course you are.
To draw your own conclusions.
I'm asking you what's your conclusion.
Political. I believe they believe in a. Preeti ji, I'm responding.
Yeah.
You do not have career bureaucrats. You have a spoiled system wherein political people are appointed as the head of the SEC, head of Department of Justice, etc. There are deep
all right. So all
linkages
institutions, as per you, are bogus in the United States of America, and we shouldn't be trusting. We shouldn't be trusting the US in that, right? Okay, fine. Made your point. Ashutosh, I know you're laughing, but Ashutosh, there's been a point that both Pradeep and Rajat have made, and that is to walk the talk. Because pictures of Ashok Gehlot sitting with Gautam Adani, investment in Telangana, investment in Himachal as well, by the way. All of that is coming to the fore.
Preeti, off camera, I'll certainly speak to Rajya Sethi on this particular issue, but I can't stop holding.
He's allowed his opinion. No, Ashutosh, everyone is allowed their opinion. He stated his, state yours.
Preeti, if we all want to live in a delusional world where everything is a conspiracy, America is the worst democracy ever the world has seen, and institutions have fallen through all, then I can only say, my dear friend Ranjan Sethi, I'm only sympathetic to you, and nothing else I can say more. So the fact of the matter, the 2 points. Preeti, let me speak. 2 points. 1 point is, if American system is so ludicrous that they can issue a notice to our national security advisor and send a arrest warrant to the second most rich businessman in the country, then why the government is not moving a resolution in the parliament when the entire parliament should sit and unanimously pass a resolution condemning this act of American court, so that the countrymen should know that America is trying to destabilize the country. The point number 2. And if Rahul Gandhi and anybody who's cahoot to the American system and to the George Soros, an FIR should be lodged immediately, and he should be arrested, and he should be arrested under UAPA, so that he should not get bail for another 10 years.
Okay, 1 second. I'm going to take quick closing comments, 1 minute each. I'm running out of time. Concluding statement, Pradeep, please.
November 2024.
I'll come to you, allow him.
23rd November 2024, DK Shivkumar court says that we can't deny that we have links with the Adani investment. Right. We believe in Adani investment. Please suspend DK Shivkumar from your party. Okay. Point number 2, 30 seconds you asked, it's just been 20 seconds. This is the Global Watch report where the Communist Party of China has links with George Soros, and George Soros is linked with Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi is working against the country, and we'll investigate it.
All right. 30 seconds, Adil, please make your point.
Preeti, I think it is beyond any pale of doubt that they're using this as a bogey to run away and shield Mr. Adani. I think there is no other way to describe this. And I don't want to indulge in rhetoric and flash my telephone and show pictures, because that is indeed very
facts, not rhetoric.
The fact of the matter today is, let there be a JPC, let the truth come out. Stop being Adani's puppets, for heaven's sake.
Stop being George Soros, man.
All right, okay, this is a very terrible level of discourse today. But Rajat Sethi, 30 seconds closing statement.
Funny side, I am adoring this newfound love affair of the left liberal ecosystem in India for America of all places. I will leave it at that. Let your viewers decide. But this genuine trust, this overarching trust on American institutions, the American zeal for fighting for justice.
Okay.
I appreciate. I salute all the left cabal on this.
All right. Okay. 30 seconds, Ashutosh.
Preeti, unfortunately, I don't call Mr. Obama as Obama, and I don't see Mr. Trump as a good friend of mine. So if these are so cabal, that why the Prime Minister is going and hugging these idiots? He should not be doing that. I fail to understand what is the compulsion of defending a private individual.
Okay.
There has to be some deal. I know he's very rich.
Okay.
Adani is very,
Mr.
very
Soros
rich.
All right,
not
okay.
a private
Am I-
individual,
I
Ashutosh.
do not know why the people are defending him.
All right. Thank you,
I fail to
gentlemen.
understand
Thank
why
you.
the people are.
All right, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. I'm sure in days to come, this debate is continuing because in Parliament, the face-off continues to brew. Food for thought would we rather have washed out days in Parliament where the Indian taxpayer is paying, 2.5 lakh rupees for every minute which is washed out in Parliament? Or maybe have a debate, even if it is on Adani, have a conclusive, constructive debate. We leave it to our viewers.